Alright, folks, we're back. So this is the last episode of Super Street Fighter 2. You will see the saga of your drinking game here conclude, and we've got one more fighter to see what will happen, but for now we're going to contend with DJ. So what will happen? How will your drinking game escalate, and what will go on from it? You know, what becomes of Ken, and what are these endings for these martial artists? Well, these answers will happen, and this is kind of like a shenanigans episode in a lot of ways. You'll discover that soon enough, as, I mean, you may not know 35 seconds into the video, but you will see by the end of these 14 minutes and 5 seconds, or 6 seconds, that this is kind of a shenanigans episode. So we'll get to it, you'll discover why, but I won't spoil anything. So, but it's been a decent romp. I mean, I was pretty pissed off like an hour ago about this, but I'm just kind of underneath the impression. It makes for good entertainment, so hopefully you guys get something enjoyable out of this. So we'll see what happens here. But yeah. So, speaking of which, I'm kind of hungry. I really could, I don't know, I'm going to have to find some munchies to sit there and get a hold of and stuff. Once again, I'm going to have to put in a Walmart order, which it seems like I'm doing that a lot more. It seems like I'm really eating. For some reason, there's just been a lot of food consumption, but, you know, it's kind of one of those things. So, yeah, basically, no extra fighters. So we got, yeah. So, yeah, so basically what you've discovered is there's a couple fighters missing here, and we have to figure out what are we going to do about it. So, yeah, so that basically means that your game, depending upon the rules you made, I mean, yeah, by this point you should be in the 4th episode, so I would say we're about an hour in by this point, something like that. I mean, we're 2 minutes into part 4, and each of these has been like 10 or 11 episodes, so we're about 40 minutes in. This is what I talk about here. I mean, Street Fighter 2, if I had played this on a tougher difficulty, it probably would have been even more of a nightmare. I don't even know if I would have wanted to have done this if I would have played this on like a harder difficulty and then had to unlock all 16 characters. Not really unlock, but show them off. I mean, really, if this was as much of a pill doing this on like, you know, regular difficulty settings, you could imagine what it'd be like doing this on like the toughest difficulty. I mean, I do think this is a game that could stretch into like 3 or 4 hours depending upon what you do, but you know, I had the spirit for it, but that's kind of the concept here. Well, let's finish off the Ken playthrough. We'll fight the boss characters, and then there'll just be 2 characters left that we have to do. So, that's kind of the main thing. We're going to fight Balrog. I do like this course, this Las Vegas course. I mean, the thing about Balrog is he's kind of a gambler, and, you know, it kind of showcases. I would like almost for there to be like another Street Fighter movie. I just wonder, you know, supposing they weren't to kind of, I mean, I feel like if they can do Max Payne, and if they can do, like, they've remade Tomb Raider and those type movies, I would definitely suppose they could do another Street Fighter. It'd be interesting. There's not really too many martial artists anymore. It seems like that's kind of a lost art. I'm trying to think of who, like, you know, maybe Mark Wahlberg could play like Guile or something. He'd have to dye his hair blonde, but that would be interesting to see that happen. You know, like Don Cheadle could be Dalzim or something. Those, you know, just that kind of concept. Those sorts of folks. I don't know who. I mean, I don't know. You get the concept as far as like characters who could play who. I don't know who would play Cammy, but you get the concept here. It'd be interesting. Like Reese Witherspoon would probably make a good Cammy. So, you know, yeah, just sign me on to do the casting for the next Street Fighter movie. I mean, obviously, if it comes out like 10 or 12 years from now, I wouldn't pick those folks. But just to kind of say, if it would have happened back in like 2016, those would have been some good ones. But, I mean, hell, I would almost say Mike Tyson could have played Balrog. I mean, that's who the character was based off of. He's been in movies like The Hangover, so he can do some decent acting. But it makes sense. But yeah. So I really, these bonus stages kind of get on my nerves. I mean, they're fun like the first couple times, but they're really just kind of aggravating. You know, after you'll see. I mean, it's just kind of yeah. Well, the cat's out of the bag now that we didn't fight the other two characters, so there's still two characters to fight from Ken's playthrough. So with that, how that goes with your drinking game, we'll see. But just understand that there's still a bag of tricks left to see in these last 9 minutes. But yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say about that. The bonus games just get kind of you know. Like, they're somewhat entertaining, but I almost wish there was, like, an option, because I don't really know what it's supposed to do besides enhance your point bonus or something. Yeah. This game needed more unlockables. I mean, for 1994, it's good, but it just felt like it didn't cram as much space into the Super Nintendo cart that it probably could have. I felt like they probably could have added, like, at least 3 or 4. They should have had unlockable stages, something else. Ryu should have had, like, another stage at least. There should have been more. I mean, for 1993, you know, obviously it's within a decent thing, but it's just surprising that this was kind of just run of the mill. But it's a great game. I mean, Street Fighter is classic. It's just kind of, but so I'm just kind of underneath the impression and stuff of like, attack me if you dare, I will crush you. That doesn't sound like something Ken would say. That sounds like something a villain character would say, you know. That sounds like M. Bison would say, attack me if you dare, I will crush you. Something like that. It'd be kinda... But... I do like the nice kind of sunsetting pitch towards the stage. I mean, that's one thing that they did do, is most of the stages in the first Street Fighter were during the day. I mean, I think there's only like 1 or 2 stages that are actually completely at night, but it's good to kind of get like the context of some of these days going in. This makes me wonder what Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo did. That's the only one that didn't really come to home machines that much, but I would wonder what for the 4th rendition of Street Fighter 2, I wonder what those stages were like. I mean, if you look hard enough, there are like compilations. You can get it for like the PlayStation 2 with all the games and Xbox 360 and that type stuff, but I just wonder what those stages look like. It'd be interesting if some of the stages had like rain and lightning and that type stuff. That's what I would have aimed for next. It would have been a nice rendition. This is kind of like hell. So Sagat just whooped my ass that one time, and he kind of found it funny. Didn't suck a penis. But, yeah. So, because I knocked the difficulty up a notch, I mean, if this had been on the Ryu difficulty, I probably would have knocked this guy out pretty quickly, but I decided... And really, I'm starting to almost like Ken slightly more than Ryu, just because his hurricane kick gets multiple hits. Like, Ryu's just hits them like one strong time, but Ken, you can actually get like 5 or 6 hits, depending upon if you hit them correctly. So that's kind of something. And Ken has the better attacks 2 out of 3 of their special moves. Ryu just has a better fireball. So if you're just a fan of the fireball, that's really the only reason why you would use Ryu, because Ken has the better dragon punch, and he has the better hurricane kick. So this is kind of... I don't know. I mean, really, Ryu has a 4th technique. I mean, I didn't use it in the playthrough, but he has like a red fireball that if you... It's like it's in the instruction booklet, but there is a special red fireball that's more powerful than his regular Hadouken. So, the thing about this game is these characters got some bonus moves. Like, Guile has like his knee bazooka move, and there's just like, if you look hard enough, some of these characters did learn an extra technique. I mean, they don't broadcast it, and I don't know how many people use these techniques when they play through Super Street Fighter 2 on YouTube, but there is actually, depending upon if you pay attention, there are some secret techniques that kind of happen. I think that's another ingredient that they tried to do with this game. So, and of course, another thing is you can play as the boss characters. I don't know if you could do that in Street Fighter Turbo, but you can use the boss characters and fight all 12 characters if you want. So it's kind of just an extra thing. But M. Bison can get the hell out of here, and we're not even going to be rewarded for this ending. It's all this effort just for nothing. It's like, oh, you're going to have to work harder than that. So, But so yeah, you successfully saw the Ken playthrough, and we've got like a few more tricks yet, and there's still another 4 minutes basically left to see. You'll see what happens here, and then we will conclude this. This mini branch that I've done will kind of have like its particular onset just as far as doing it. So yeah, we're gonna fight Zangief finally. Luckily, this was just the second time I did the Ken playthrough that I got Zangief, but you're gonna see. So what about E Honda? Are we gonna fight him? Yeah, are we gonna fight all 16 characters like he promised? Well, you'll see what happens here. That's kind of the concept. It's just like E Honda was way more slippery than I pretty much. I mean, I have owned this game for 18 years, and I've never gotten this pissed off trying to fight E Honda that I have just within the past few hours. It really made me mad. I was literally cursing at the screen, being like, why the fuck? I mean, you're going to see what I'm talking about here. It's just ridiculous, the concept behind this, but Zangief we at least got, but it just felt like there was just some sort of force of nature that was just trying to purposely troll me. And considering that this game was manufactured in 1994, I don't know where that came from. This is stupid. I mean, it's just like, you know, when you flip a quarter or something and you go for heads or tails, you're eventually going to get both heads and tails. It's not like you're going to get heads 16 times in a row, but you're going to see what happens. I have proof of this here in a second, but I mean, I literally felt like I was playing a game of flipping a quarter heads or tails and getting heads or getting tails 15 or 16 times in a row. It's the stupidest thing ever. I mean, I was getting mad, but I wasn't even getting mad about losing. It had nothing to do with me losing at the game. I was winning. This is the fact that the random encounters were being disgruntled and biased. So just watch on with my text that's going to show up here, and you'll see exactly what I mean. So that's not even showing, folks, like the other playthroughs that I did, because there were at least 2 other ones where I just turned off the game and just eventually just said fuck it. Those are at least the ones I recorded. I played this, fought all 8 characters at least 3 different times trying to find E Honda. None of those 3 times I got him. Then I did it an additional 3 times, turned off the machine, went out and got the mail, came back, played it another time, and I was just like, you know, I don't know how many times I'm going to have to play this damn game to fight E Honda. So eventually I got E Honda, but I wasn't able to show the plane. I mean, E Honda's from Japan, if you didn't know. So I just didn't record, because I was like, I'm just going to keep playing this until I get E Honda. But yeah, so I didn't even get the proper introduction. But alright, folks, so that basically concludes this playthrough. E Honda's an ass. You know, he deserves a good slap across the face with a mackerel. And, you know, this is kind of the concept. I just would have to say, hopefully you enjoyed this little 45-minute drinking game, and I'll see you in the next playthrough. I'm trying to figure out what it's going to be. Might be Uniracers, don't really know at this stage. But yeah, I just would go back. This hopefully has a rewind factor for you guys. Subscribe for more fun. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed. Yeah, I'll see you next time. So,